Alright, hey everybody, broadcasting now. I figured out that I can have like the link started, but not the broadcast, so when people look at the recording later, they're not losing time.
Not much, man.
Try it.
Seven, 77, 77, 3.
No problem. Just wait a couple more minutes just in case anybody else wants to join, but I don't have as many questions as last time. I think I was able to put like 32 in, and then there was some stuff that was kind of hard to like put into question format like this, so if we have extra time and people want to just log out to watch videos and stuff to study, that'll probably be the best. Should be kahoot.it is the link, or kahoot.it. Trying to make it bigger. There we go. Slowly getting this Hangouts thing figured out. So I was looking at the network operations topics from the CompTIA PDF, and I'm thinking if everybody's on the same page, when it talks about some of the more hands-on, I guess, kind of things like installing and configuring certain devices, do we want to have someone from the Colaset group kind of talk about that more?
I'm available for whatever information they're willing to provide us to help us, obtain our goals here.
Okay. See if we can get, I'll email the 4, I don't know what we call them, leaders. See if they got anybody, or see if Ralph's available, really. I'm thinking maybe next week, the same thing for the network security. We can have somebody kind of touch on some things from the network ops, and then someone to talk about network security for our next meetup. I think that might be most useful. then the following week after that is troubleshooting, and we can do quizzing for that. Maybe not necessarily the Kahoot format, but all right, I'm gonna go ahead and start the quiz. If anybody else joins, they can just hop in.
All right.
I gotta be in the other screen and click start.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay. Ah.
Yeah, I got that one wrong too.
Yeah. Oh, I should have known that was true because A is 2.4. Ah, I did it wrong.
I gotta study these a little bit more.
Yeah, the time was making me feel pressure.
Well, there's some questions in here where they couldn't fit in there. So what I did is I kind of split it between text and an image, and so I gave that 90 seconds. So hopefully that's enough for that because there's a little bit more reading.
Okay.
So kind of FYI when we get to those ones.
Okay.
El Diablo.
Oh, El Diablo. Eh?
I only know this one because this was the last one I just put in. Oh, ignore my spelling mistake.
Yay.
That one actually came from CompTIA practice exam, so.
Yeah, I actually read that last night.
I think this one actually might fit more in network security, but it was like within a chapter that was part of this.
They seem like I heard that term before, so.
There's actually, if you go to YouTube and go to past DEF CON videos, that's how I learned what 0 day was. And there was a couple, there's some that are kind of like weird, and I just like click through them because I'm like, this is not interesting to me. But there was some really good videos from that con. Just kind of FYI.
Okay, Zero Con. Yeah, DEF CON.
Yeah, DEFCON.
Okay.
Apparently you can do that with some other conferences, but for some reason that one from this or from 2016 had some really good ones. Okay.
I read that exact question last night.
Hey, if you get those on the quiz, like the day of the test,
Right.
perfect. That's what I'm hoping for.
Definitely. Man, I don't know. Oh, goodness.
If any of these questions you guys want me to look up where it's at, just let me know.
Okay. So it looked like I've heard this question, but I didn't see it in the answer, and this is the only one that seemed right to me was interface. So I feel like I got lucky.
Yeah, that's what I liked about this question. I had to kind of reword it a little bit because it didn't quite fit, but it wasn't long enough to really do like a split one.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked the answers that the book gave because I was like, I think process of elimination I could, either the application or interface, but then I'm like, the application doesn't make sense, so I'll just go with interface. I did the same thing when I saw that question. Just guessed.
Tree protocol. Ooh.
Did you study your OSI?
Spanning tree protocol. Okay. Plank bridge. Mm-mm-mm. I didn't get a chance to answer that one. Oh, goodness.
I was get 3 and 2 mixed up on the
Spanning tree. So 2 is the data link. 3 is the network. Spanning tree works at the data link layer. Okay.
let me look that one up.
Yeah, that's a good one to look up.
I could have put the questionnaire wrong too, so hold on.
It's 1:30. Spanning tree protocol is used with network bridges and switches. With the help of spanning tree algorithm, spanning tree protocol avoids or eliminate loops on a layer 2 bridge. Yep, that's what it says.
Yep. Yeah, the note says, as a heads up, talking about STP refers to layer 2, both bridges and most switches work at layer 2, routers at layer 3, as do layer 3 switches.
So you gotta remember that routers at layer 3 and layer 2 is for switches. So
If you go to the notes from last week, I found a graphic that for the OSI, and it has like a really good breakdown of everything. If you wanted to, what I might do is go in and create like a blank document so you can kind of fill in.
fill in the blank.
Yeah, so I haven't done that yet. That's just an idea I had. But
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah. But it's great that we're able to find this answer so quickly. Like I said, I got a new book this week. Last week I had an old book, so that's
yeah, I'm
helpful.
trying to look up some more test questions, and I kept finding like old stuff. I'm like, this isn't gonna help me. All right, going on to the next one.
What is the standard that supports? Oh, I do know this. I think if I remember correctly. Yes. All right. I think you gotta write a line of code in the switch or the router that it requires you to write the 802.1q in it.
Yeah, this was actually I pulled this question from the Professor Messer when he's talking about this section. Because if you study the book and then watch his videos, or watch his videos, study, then watch his videos, I don't know, I just feel like my brain is more of a sponge to suck in the information.
That's good. To access port authentication.
I don't know if I remember this one. I think you had this answer earlier.
Yeah, this is a little tough one there. You gotta remember that again.
I'm guessing. I guess so. I'll pull that one from, so I don't really remember that one.
I thought 2.4 was A.
That's what I thought too. Let's see what I pulled it.
Yeah, let's see that.
I
Range.
put this in one of the videos.
Would you look that up? Standards.
Okay. Yeah, I pulled it from the video, so I could have got that backwards. And
I think it is 2.4 for
yeah.
A, and B is 5 gigahertz. And then the G is 2.4. The N is 5 gigahertz.
If I need to take
The G might be both, unless it's AC that's both.
I'll have to go back
What,
and watch his video again and see where
what gigahertz? What am I looking for? Gigahertz?
Well, we can watch that video.
We're looking for frequencies.
I think the easiest way to get that over there. Well, when we're done, we can watch that video too and then see, because I think I got that one wrong too. Like, I'm not supposed to put not in there. So yeah, I'll make a note to look up that
Okay.
video later, because it was a short video too. And I was also trying to watch it at work. I mean, I wasn't watching it at work.
Right.
It was on lunch break.
Okay. Frequencies. I just can't locate it right now, but let's see, 221.
Okay, I got it. Sweet. Unless you want to watch it now, but we can go through the quiz and do that at the end. It's up to you guys.
I think it's important. I just kind of look through here and try to find it.
Okay, well, I'll pull up the video because it's not very long, and then I'll just we'll watch that while.
Okay. So I know it's like one of those things I try to commit to memory.
Yeah.
And you know, I guess when it shakes your memory a little, it kind of throws you off. And it's like, okay, I gotta reaffirm this.
Yeah. All right, let's see if this works. Let's see.
Time. Simply choosing a random frequency and plugging it into the network is probably not going to be your best course of action. You may find that you're conflicting with other devices and other frequencies that are in use, and therefore the performance of your wireless network is going to suffer. The first thing you should do is to perform a site survey. You need to understand exactly what frequencies are in use and how you could best configure your access point to work optimally in that environment. You can use to help find all of these different access points. It might be a free piece of software or something commercial that you can purchase, or you're getting a full-blown spectrum analyzer and really trying to understand exactly what frequencies are in use at that location. Once you have that information, you can then start determining what particular frequencies are open or available, or which ones are not being used as much as other frequencies. This way you can plan where you want to put an access point and then decide what frequencies should be used by that particular access point. Of course, not everybody is going to follow this formal process when they start setting up their wireless network. And if there are other organizations in the same general area as you, you may find that they are now conflicting with your network configuration. So you may want to plan to do ongoing site surveys. Come back every month or every 3 months or every 6 months and make sure that the wireless environment is running as optimally as possible. One thing you can do is to perform something like this, a heat map. This is a piece of software I downloaded that allowed me to walk around a particular area. You could even put the diagram of the area as the background. And as you move, it knows exactly where you are in relation to the access point. And it can start to show you in color view exactly where the signal is very good and where the signal is very bad. And you can walk inside of your building, outside of your building, and get a better understanding of exactly where the frequencies are in use for your wireless network. There are so many different wireless frequencies that we use for our wireless network. It is a subset of the 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz frequency ranges. And they are very standardized for all of the different wireless types. The IEEE standards will dictate what frequencies are in use, and governments also control exactly how much of those particular frequencies are available in a particular country. We are going to look at 802.11a, 802.11b, G, N, and AC. There are a lot of different standards in between that, but those are the main wireless standards that you'll run into, and you need to understand what frequencies each one of these particular standards use. You'll need to understand, therefore, that each one of these standards uses different speeds. There's going to be different distances that are supported because of the frequencies and the type of modulation in use. They're using different channels, which is how we block out the different frequencies in all of these different standards. And the frequencies themselves are controlled by governmental agencies, which may limit exactly which frequencies you can use in a particular country. Let's look at how 802.11b uses the 2.4 gigahertz range. 802.11b uses a modulation type over this wireless network of direct sequence spread spectrum, or DSSS. This is how it sends the wireless signal from one device to another over this 802.11b network. It uses this mechanism called chipping. It takes a certain chunk of data, chips it, and sends it out over a number of different frequencies. It's a very predefined order. As this information is being sent, it's expected to be received in a very predefined order on the other side. That is the spread spectrum part of the DSSS. There are generally 14 channels that you can use. These channels correlate to very specific 2.4 gigahertz frequencies. For example, channel 1 is 2412 megahertz. Channel 11 is 2462 megahertz. So there's a gap between these different channels, and they overlap themselves quite a bit. Each channel is about 22 megahertz wide, and they are spaced at 5 megahertz intervals. So by simply looking at that, you can see there is extensive overlap for each one of these frequency ranges. That's why we have certain channels that do not overlap. With 2.4 gigahertz on 802.11b, channel 1, channel 6, and channel 11, for instance, do not overlap with each other, at least not here in the United States. In the US, we can't use any frequencies above that channel 11, but it can go all the way up to channel 14, which may be in use in your particular country. So you need to look at the different frequencies that are being used, and what you'll generally find is if it is an 802.11b network, it is running on channel 1, channel 6, or channel 11. The 2.4 gigahertz range is also used by 802.11g and 802.11n. It uses a different modulation type to send the information, though. It uses orthogonal frequency division multiplexing, or OFDM. This is the same modulation type we use for 802.11a. It's using the same frequencies as we were just looking at in the 802.11b. It's just using that different modulation type of OFDM instead of using DSSS. So if we start looking at the overlap of channels, it's exactly the same for 802.11g and 802.11n. We have channels 1, channel 6, and channel 11. If it needs to use slower speeds, it effectively reverts back to the 802.11b mechanism. So you may see also modulations of DSSS if you're using these slower speeds on 802.11g or 802.11n. In a later video, we'll look at the details of speeds between all of these different wireless standards. But one important thing to know is that 802.11n provides for much higher speeds than 802.11g, and it does that in part by using much more of the frequency. You can see that 802.11n uses a 40 megahertz wide channel. You can see it's about twice as wide as what we saw with 802.11b or 802.11g. And you can really only have one particular frequency so that you're not overlapping with any others in this particular frequency range. So channel 3 is generally what you'll see for 802.11n, but of course you can adjust things depending on what other frequencies may be in use in your particular area. Here's a better view of all these non-overlapping channels. You can see with 802.11b is our channel 1, our channel 6, channel 11, and then the channel 14 at the very top. These channels are 22 megahertz wide. For 802.11g and n, the channels are 20 megahertz wide, but still we have that non-overlapping channel at channel 1, channel 6, and channel 11. And as I mentioned, 802.11n has twice the size of the channel width at 40 megahertz, so you can have the higher speeds for those 802.11n networks. Another section of frequencies available for our wireless networks are the 5 gigahertz frequencies. We see these being used for 802.11a, 802.11n, and 802.11ac. 5 gigahertz frequencies are not used for 802.11b or g. For 802.11a, we're using dynamic frequency selection to determine what frequencies to use. There are a number of military uses for these 5 megahertz frequencies, so by using DFS, we're able to avoid conflicting with radar that's being used for weather or military satellite use. This is using that same frequency modulation we were looking at before of OFDM. It allows us to send multiple data streams, even though we're using a fixed type of bandwidth. There are 23 non-overlapping channels available in this 5 gigahertz range, and of course, the availability of the frequencies will differ depending on what country you're in. To get some of these higher speeds in 802.11n, we take advantage of something called MIMO. That stands for multiple input and multiple output. There's a single receiver in 802.11n, but you can have more than one antenna. So you can send and receive on different channels at the same time. You can support up to 4 transmit and 4 receive. So there's 4 separate data streams that can all be communicating at the same time with 802.11n. 802.11ac takes this another step farther with multi-user MIMO or MU-MIMO. With multi-user MIMO in 802.11ac, you can have up to 4 separate receivers inside of an access point with multiple antennas on each of those. And with that particular architecture, you're able to get multi-gigabit speeds out of these wireless networks on 802.11ac. There's a large emphasis for backwards compatibility when you start using these wireless networks. That way you can have an older 802.11b device, still have it communicate even though you have an 802.11n access point. It uses a mechanism called high throughput mode to determine how it's going to work and how backwards compatible it's going to be. For 802.11n, this high throughput mode is also called a greenfield mode because it doesn't support any of the legacy devices. You have to have everything running at 802.11n. This is also going to give you the highest throughput for the 802.11n networks, because it doesn't have to be the older backwards compatible and slower network communication used in the older standards. If you do have legacy devices, you might want to consider running your 802.11n access point in legacy mode. This is a non-high throughput mode. It uses those 20 megahertz channels, so you're not getting the larger 40 megahertz channels, so you're not going to get the 802.11n speeds. If you have older equipment that can't run at those higher speeds, this may be a good way to configure your access point, at least until you get everyone upgraded. You might also have an option inside your access point for a high throughput mixed mode. And in mixed mode, you're able to run 802.11n and 802.11b and G at the same time. Your N devices are not going to run at the full capabilities of N, and your B and G devices obviously won't run at N speeds either, but this does allow you to have all of those devices running on your network at the same time. But you are defining how fast the application can transfer the information. You're not worried about the network mechanisms or how fast the network is running. You're only interested in knowing the maximum throughput for your application. When you're looking at throughput from an application level, we always refer to that as good put.
That was good.
Make sure it's not gonna autoplay the next one. That's a nice thing when you start watching is you just put on autoplay and just keep
going. That was good. It followed the book that I have right through.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's good stuff. Oh. And then I found, was Googling it real quick. I popped the link into the chat. Doesn't have a date on the web page, but I kind of like how it's set up, so you can look at each one side by side.
Okay. Yeah, I found a table here in my book. 802.11a is 5 gigahertz, so it is not 2.4. So, hey, that was right.
Which book did you get?
I got the CompTIA Network Plus, November 10. That's 006. It's a cert guide to help prepare you for the Network Plus exam. And I also got the exam cram CompTIA Network Plus book as well. So
Okay. Yeah, I gotta-
Listed all the information just like he gave out. He instructed everyone in. So
yeah. That's what I like about his videos is that he has them organized just like the CompTIA breaks down what you should study. So you can just follow it piece by piece. And then if you're not sure what he's talking about, you can go to the book and reference it. Or
Right.
do it. Cool.
so
We're all gonna get this question right.
we should, right?
Hopefully.
And yeah, my score doesn't count like last week, so
What?
I think this is actually more security related. But we'll put it in there.
The entry in Windows Base Security Log. What's the question again? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a stab at that one. Yeah.
Hmm.
Let's see where that was on page 560 of the exam cram.
Exam cram. I don't think I got that far. 560.
Right, not 560. Obviously I did that wrong. Maybe 460? Hold on.
Or 60.
Yeah, I wrote the page number down wrong. Let me see if I can find it again though.
Talk about honeypots.
Oh, hell, I don't. I really don't know the password to the Wi-Fi. It should be on the router.
It's 360, page 360. Let me
360.
get my notes. So even though it seems like a security, like for next week's, it was still under monitoring network performance. That's why I grabbed it.
Yeah, to the bottom of the understanding component of entry. Yeah, I only guessed at that because I did a little Wireshark thing, and I remember having the event ID, the computer, and the date, but I don't think it showed anything about what network it was on. So that's why I chose domain. So I got lucky, I guess.
I remember typing this one in, but I don't remember the answer. think I remember it.
I got an idea what it is. That's why I chose what I chose. Yes.
Hey, so I got one.
And,
802.
Go through the quizzes again later if you want, because all the links will be there if you want to run through them.
So I heard of 821X, but I haven't heard of all the other ones.
Yeah,
Didn't know there were so many.
I definitely hit the Professor Messer his section 2 stuff. It was really good with that video. I like he breaks everything down, and then if there's something you're like, you know what, I need to know more about that, then you can go, you know.
Yep. You got the.
All right. This was in the video.
I don't. Memo? Yeah, I do.
Oh, I didn't get a chance to answer that one. I diggity.
EDS?
Is that one end short? Because I felt like I don't see 3 answers.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to answer. There's still like 45 seconds left, and it just maybe I didn't go back to my page in enough time. I guess I don't know. And I'm sitting right on that page.
Yeah, that's weird. Cause I mean, I have it set as 60 seconds, but that felt short though. Just watching. So,
There's
I don't know.
45 seconds left when it just closed out the time.
I don't know. Maybe my cursor clicked skip or something. I don't know.
Yes.
Keep it off.
I mean, I have a flashlight in my car. No. That's the only one I have outside. Yeah.
That's a tricky question. It had 20 some odd seconds left. Okay. Didn't get a chance to answer that one. Increases redundancy and increases performance. And I was going to pick performance because I knew what load balancing does, but I didn't know if it increase or create redundancy. So that was like that. So
Same here.
I would have got lucky again if I'd have had a chance to pick it.
Got it.
All right, this is another one we got an image, so should have 90 seconds.
Video for stick networking red corner is known as
See what image?
I think the thing is below it, the question.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
I guess while I'm taking it.
Yep. It was me trying to use more words.
I'm gonna go with that one only because.
Damn it! All right.
I couldn't remember.
Yes. The only reason I picked it because it said networking at the end, and networking as a
Yeah,
Networking as a service.
yeah, I think so.
This one's something else as a service. So I didn't.
Yeah, software as a service.
Software as a service.
This is where knowing the acronyms comes in handy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think SAN is standalone network, maybe.
Mm,
I know these two.
don't remember. Hmm.
Um, maybe that. Dang it.
Nah, I was close. Yeah. I didn't see the one I would have picked anyway, so I would have been looking in the event log, but security log, I guess.
Let's see.
I was thinking of history because it was going back to history. I don't know. I was wrong.
Yeah.
That was page 359 of exam time. Let me double check my page number.
Security logs.
Yeah, 359, part of the cram quiz for the network management.
38. Yeah, security logs is the only thing it has here, and the cert guide is security logs, and this example is successful and failed login attempts. Security logs. Yeah, system logs.
Because I think maybe the keyword to look here is the failed login attempts.
It's only application logs, security logs, and system logs.
Huh.
Okay. Ready to move on?
Yes.
Mm. What I did.
Oh, it said environmental control.
I
I
was
guess
trying.
that is environment.
Environmental controls. I was just thinking about controlling access.
Yeah, this was actually from, I believe, the CompTIA one, and they had all these as a separate answer, and you had to select two. So to be able, because I can only put 4 answers up here, so that's why I grouped them.
Oh, man.
I'll check that.
Environmental control. I gotta remember environmental.
From the CompTIA practice quiz.
Yeah, that makes sense. You don't want to get your assets too hot or your computer. I mean,
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Ah. I know that a DNS server was a load balancer. Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was from the book. One of the-
Oh man. Load balancer. 303.
Page 378 of the exam cream. Towards the top of that page, it says note.
You said 378?
Yep.
It says in the note, huh? Multi-layer switch domain can also serve as load balancers. I didn't know that. That is right there. Look at that.
Yep.
Mhm.
There's a lot of good info on that page. See the second note where it's talking about OpenStack as for the network as a service.
Mhm.
Don't know if that'll be on the test or if it's a test question. But
There it is. The network as a service. There you go.
yeah. I'll remember that acronym now.
sure.
There's the other one right there. Oh, I didn't get a chance to answer that one.
Got it wrong.
It just cut out on me.
Oh man.
Oh, it keep doing that to me.
I'm gonna keep an eye on the timer. Maybe there's a lag or something. I don't know. Because that could affect it too.
It had like 70 seconds or something.
Let's see this one. Yeah, that one was set to 90 seconds. That's weird. I did not put a page number for that one.
I knew that one. That one was when he talked about that overlap occurring with AP. So and he said if you had trouble with your channels, because of the overlap.
I was thinking of the SSID for some reason. I don't know. Gotta read the question. Oh yeah, this is a pretty good one.
Weakness if discovered. I see what my problem is. I'm not going to the site to get myself ready for the next question.
Okay.
Probably thinking that I'm not going to be answering the question. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I see what's going on. Okay. Hopefully this will eliminate that.
This one's a pretty good one. It was on page 365, that part of that quiz. And it says, often the only thing that you as a security admin can do between the discovery of the exploit and the release of the patch is to turn off the service. Although this can be a costly undertaking in terms of productivity, it can be the only way to keep the network safe.
365 in exam frame.
Yeah. Question number 3.
Okay. Oh, and then you read the answer. Okay.
No one knows 30 games is a tall order on the last day of the season. But he's decided if he can't fill all his tags this year, he's going to play up his rival.
Ah, crap. Yep. I knew it. I was thinking about that at the last second.
It's like when you choose, you can't go back and unchoose, you know. Oh, goodness. You know, I only studied a couple sections and it's all over the place, these questions. That's awesome.
Yeah. This one's an evil one.
Oh.
My job's over here to help fill the tags.
Ah, take it out. Yeah.
This was a note that I 376. Yeah, 376. It was an exam alert.
276. You said 276?
It was on the other page, 277 at the bottom. That's where I pulled the that one load balancing question. That's down the blank.
277. Mine's talking about cabling and satellites.
In the exam craft?
Yeah.
376. Right?
376. Okay.
Yeah, 376. Page 376.
Yep. Exam alert. In terms of scale, remember the order. Intranet, extranet, and internet.
And then on the next page at the bottom is another exam alert for that one fill in the blank about load balances.
The load balancing.
Like it's the exam alert is going to be on the exam.
I wish
The professors always say.
it does say something about, let me see. I don't remember what it said, but yeah, it's because it's like they have notes and then they have like exam alerts, and it's like, oh, I know what it is now. So at the beginning of each chapter, if you just choose a random chapter, there's a, like, this chapter follows this, and then there's like a clam saver, and it says if you can answer these questions correctly, then just skim through and hit the exam alert pieces, and that's basically how people can review it. If they know it, they just need to brush up on it. So that's I guess the difference. Whereas a note's just highlighting it. I kind of like that about this book, though.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah. Woohoo. Oh boy, what was that?
We gotta go. Any hotel, anytime.
That maybe. Yeah, cool.
I know when you're working with a company, you want to go enterprise level.
That's what I was thinking.
At home, you want to do the personal ones.
I'm over in sci-fi field and think Star Trek. There you go.
Oh, Big Wall has a fire by his name.
Yeah, I see that. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. On fire.
Yeah. Gotta keep up the streak. You get more points. Catching up.
Oh, I got 5 in a row. Okay, that's what it's saying. Oh, man.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Oh goodness.
I second guess myself.
I really didn't know what it was. But I got it right.
Well, I know the 802.1x is the port authorization, and so I knew I had to do something with accessing. So allow and deny through the port. So that's why I picked that one.
No mistake.
I said, no more streak. That's what threw me off. Remember, we just went over that with Professor Messer.
I clicked
Just
that one.
went over that with him.
Yep.
If we wouldn't have went over that with him, I wouldn't have got that one. Mm. Mm. I'm pretty sure I don't have that one right.
Oh boy.
I have a trick when putting that recovery test in
Yeah, it was. I was going to say load testing, but
Right?
I definitely knew it wasn't crash and burn.
there.
Well, I kind of felt like I knew that anyway.
I get you.
Stress testing, not like that. Stress testing. $354.
Got it.
Yes.
That was a good one. I want an easy one like that on the test.
One or the other, huh? Just went over that.
That's what it was. Oh.
Yay.
Nope.
Had to do that from memory.
I didn't put a page number for that one. But that was pulled from one of the end of chapter quizzes.
I got my in the CompTIA cert book. It has the table for it, and 802.11n is the only one that has the band for 2.4 gigahertz or 5 gigahertz, or both.
Well,
Okay.
that's pretty handy. Maybe we can upload it for the rest of us in the notes.
On the exam cram, it's on page 307.
The same thing or slightly different?
Let's see. I'm going to it now. 307. 308 has the table.
Oh, okay, and then 309 has, missed it. I have too many sticky notes in this thing.
Yeah, 308 has the table. 306 explains the different IEEE 802.11 standards.
Yeah, I definitely need to read that chapter again. Ready for the next one? You guys ready?
Yes.
This one has 2 right answers, I think.
Oh.
I guess remember A, we thought it was the right one on the other one. Or the wrong answer for that.
I remember screwing me up earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, goodness.
It's kind of tricky with block and closed.
Yes.
It's obviously not listening. But yeah, that's part of the port scanning section.
Port scanning. Okay.
Yeah, because that is one of the first sections on the network operations.
Oh, Miss Sandra. Go for it. Sandra's on fire.
Yeah, but my number doesn't count since I'm the one who creates the test. So
Okay.
And ignore the typo.
Oh.
Oh, goodness. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm.
I was thinking about a logger.
Yeah, that was tough. I'm limited Linux based OS information.
Same here. I'm starting to learn it.
Page 360 of the exam cram.
360.
Again, that came from the network management quiz.
Must be a question.
Yep. So number
Number which one?
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says the other options are not anything.
Right, it says log entries. Okay. Logger. Hmm.
Yeah, I don't remember this one at all.
Yeah.
We all answered that pretty quickly.
I guessed on that one because I could not remember.
Only remember it because we listened to Professor Messer.
Really pay attention to him.
we just listened to it, and it just some of his stuff just kind of.
Yeah, it just went past my one ear at the other, basically.
That's why I like watching the videos, and then when I take the quiz, I'm like, okay, I remember him talking about it. And I go watch the video again, and then it's like clear in my memory. Because they're short videos, so.
The only standard that has MU, MI, MO is 802.11 AC.
Hmm.
It's the only one. No, man. Shoot.
Yeah.
I only said it has to be because it's sending out and receiving. So.
This is another one that's like, please be on my test.
Oh, goodness. What? Which essentially iPod. Oh, okay.
Another kind of trick one.
That's a tricky one.
Because I think they'll throw that in there, like a really, really like easy one, but you're already like overthinking it. You know?
What?
Like, honey, that seems too simple, you know. So if you hadn't read it, you know, you kind of like remembered it. You're like, I don't want to take the easy.
Got me. They got me.
But yeah. I just happen to remember this all the talk with the WannaCry, and
Yes.
I remember who was talking about they were analyzing honeypots and honey nets and stuff like that, and for some reason that stuck in my head.
Yeah. Oh boy.
I think I remember something on this one. Yes, on it. Oh yeah.
I know that was the exam. Oh, nope, that was from the Professor Messenger.
Oh, book 11, almost 12,000.
All right. 23 out of 35. I got silver. Woo-hoo.
Yeah, those are the questions I came up with for tonight.
Yeah.
Well, we can call it quits here, and then you guys can watch some of the Professor Messer videos for this week's stuff. And,
So what chapter should we be working on? Chapter 3 or how are we doing our study?
Yeah, section 3, network security will be for next week. So study that, and for tonight, just make sure to watch some of the Professor Messer, just read a couple extra chapters, something for network ops. And so I'll reach out to the guys and see if we can get someone to do talks next week.
Okay, so last week was chapter 2, right? Or
They call them sections. If you're looking from the CompTIA PDF, or I think it's a PDF when I open it, but it looks like it's saying chapters, so it'll be like 2.0 network operations.
the CompTIA. Okay, you put a link out on that earlier, right?
Yeah, it's back in week 1 notes.
Okay. And okay, is it the same thing that Professor Messer's putting out, or?
Yeah, he actually follows it. Let me just go to the YouTube.
I want to kind of stay on track with everyone.
Yeah, he has it set up nicely, so I'll just show you guys. If you if you just, go to YouTube, type in Professor Messer, you'll find him. When you go to his page, and go to playlists. Well, also, if you haven't watched this yet, I highly recommend this Network Plus May 27.
Mhm.
And the reason why I say that is because some new questions, and you can follow along and just write down your answers to see how close you are.
Right.
But he also goes over like test prep kind of stuff, like what to look for with questions and how to analyze the answers and stuff like that, as well as like nuggets of knowledge. But yeah, so this video for sure if you haven't. And then if you go to playlists, ignore my dogs barking. There must be a dog walking outside. If you go here, Network Plus, see how he's got them all labeled, so like 1.1. So if I'm looking at section 1, he has them all lined up. So if we go to section 2, for example, scrolling. So when I look at the CompTIA thing, the very first thing is packet and network analyzing. And so it starts here. And so you can, yeah, so you can click, if you click the video, and then if you've got the autoplay on, it'll just keep playing in order of how he has it set up.
Okay.
And then you can, once you get to,
Does the exam cram book kind of follow it?
not really. I
Okay.
mean, when it goes over some things like, like wireless network devices, for example, that's, I think, like a chapter or a section within a chapter, so you can, go to it. But it doesn't follow like page by page.
Okay. So I see what it just kind of goes from area to area, but
Yeah.
this layout follows the CompTIA layout.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just gonna be going here and looking at it and using the book to kind of, I guess, build our foundation, the knowledge of it.
Yeah. If you go to his web page, also it's basically the same thing. You click on CompTIA Network Plus. Everything here. I mean, you can pay for some like his notes and stuff if you want to do that. Otherwise, you scroll all the way down. And this is how he has it situated. So, like CompTIA is section 1, network architecture, and then they group it down. Like 1.1 is remote.
Oh,
remote
okay, yeah,
devices,
there you
like
go.
that.
I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then same thing. I was talking about network operations, how he has it
Okay.
set up.
I guess. Okay. And this just kind of just goes through the different chapters.
Yep.
But okay, this is the way they kind of consolidate the information, so you know how everything kind of connects or work together.
I think he was sticking to how CompTIA has it laid out, and then it makes it easier for everybody to follow it. And I mean, he puts this stuff out for free. I mean, you can do like donations and stuff, or like I said, you buy his notes and stuff. So I mean, pretty awesome what he's got out there. I forget who recommended it on when we were initially setting this up, but this was
Right. Yeah, through the cul-de-sac information, right?
yeah. There's also a phone app where you can get test questions. Go that route too. But I link all these Kahoot quizzes. So if you just want to go back through and quiz yourself, feel free.
Okay.
Because it'll scramble it too. So, or I think you have to, if you play it, I think you just make sure to set the scramble, and then that way, you're not trying to memorize the order of the questions.
Okay.
That's it.
Well, we did good. That's a great thing we did tonight.
Yeah, hopefully cramming these quiz questions and then going back and reading things will help.
All right, everyone. Y'all have a great evening.
All right, see you guys later.
All right.